Good morning and hello, everyone. I'm not going to talk about the future of AI, and I'm also not going to talk about the promise of AI. What I would like to talk about is what AI is already contributing to businesses and to business transformation now and here in Germany. When ChatGPT came up and generative AI became something that everybody talked about, obviously it took the world in a storm. And I think nowadays, and the presentations we just heard show it, we are all very familiar with what generative AI is about, the multi-model approach that you can interact as a human with human language, natural language, through an interface that also looks like a human or acts like a human with a reasoning machine, with a reasoning engine. It's something that intrigues us, and I think it also inspires many of us to think what could happen. But it also drives a lot of theoretical debate. What could happen? What could we do with generative AI? What could be the risks? What could go wrong? I think it's very, very important that we think about what is already happening now, what's possible now. What have we done already? What have we learned of it? And what could we twist in what we do in order to even get more positive outcome? I've started 5.5 months ago, at Microsoft, and I've spent years at IBM, and my former colleague Wolfgang and me, we have spent years and decades talking about AI. But one thing is talking about it, doing projects, approaching it in a bit of a theoretical way. A different aspect is experiencing it personally. So I got onboarded by AI. I got onboarded by my best buddy, Copilot. Yes, I also had human buddies, onboarding buddies, but mostly I learned everything about Microsoft, our portfolio, our products, our positioning, our AI principles, our talent development approach, our marketing approaches. I learned through a dialogue with Copilot. It's not something that came naturally to me, although I think I deeply understand AI and I'm very intrigued by it. But it's a muscle that I had to build. A muscle not to think about it in a bit of a theoretical way and kind of abstract way, but use it every day. Integrate it into my life, my work life, every single day. And I've made a big journey there. I think I am officially onboarded now, but it's something that didn't come naturally. I also moved 5 months ago with my family from Singapore back to Europe and back to Germany. And I often got that question, and I still do get it now, like, Agnes, how about, AI, GenAI in Asia? Isn't everything faster there? Isn't everything kind of more possible? Are we like playing to lose here in Europe? And I can see where the question comes from, the many questions come from. But I also see the positivity, and I really love a study that the International Monetary Fund did. It basically looked in the entire world, what are the countries, the economies, the societies who could benefit the most from AI? And the top countries are no surprise. My former home, Singapore, it's a role model anyway, and then obviously tech superpower, US, also no surprise. The third country, however, is a bit of a surprise to some. More in Germany than anywhere else, it's Germany. And why? The International Monetary Fund analyzed it quite deeply. It said we have, and Andreas from Bosch talked about it, deep domain knowledge, deep domain skills that spans decades. We also have super strong research foundations. A lot of patents on AI, on basic research, actually are here in Germany, are posted here in Germany. We also have ecosystems that do not emerge like now or have emerged over the last couple of years, but are actually in existence already for decades. And digital ecosystems are playing a big role, and we're going to talk about this in a bit more detail when we talk about actually reaping the benefit of generative AI. So I do believe there is a great foundation that we're building on in Germany, and it's something that empowers us to really make the best use of generative AI for our businesses, for our societies. And that's what Microsoft is about. We are a platform of AI. We have many, many different models that are for many different companies on our platform. But what we want is to have an ecosystem around us that actually empowers organization, companies, also individuals to basically achieve more, to do the best they can do. So what are the benefits that AI already reaps now? What are the business transformation scenarios that we do see in Germany, in Europe, across the world? There are several, but I want to put one caveat in front. I'm really happy that today we are at an event that's actually the AI and Data Summit, or Data and AI Summit, because data is at the forefront of any quest to actually scale with AI and reap benefits at scale with AI. You need to have possibility to access different data structures. You need to have a proper data strategy so you can actually scale. You need to have a data governance in place so you actually understand what you're doing with your data, for which purpose, the privacy element, the security element of it. Data is paramount. You need to have the right data fabric. Only then we can actually reap the benefits. And we have learned this over the last month and quarters quite intensely, I would say. So the benefits are mostly categorized in 4 areas, I would say. One is employee experience. And my own onboarding example, it's a great example of employee experience that's actually enhanced through AI. We also see it in different ways. Chatbots that are actually explaining HR policies, help managers to actually deal with their own teams and do all the administrations. There are many different versions of use cases that actually enhance the employee experience. And in a world where we're actually fighting for talent and where we have a scarcity of talent, it's paramount to actually use the technology for employee experience. Reinvent customer engagement, driving up customer satisfaction, making sure that the interaction that customers have with the products, the services of our customers and partners actually increases over and over again. And I'm just going to share an example from Germany just in a bit. Reshaping business processes. We are in a challenging macroeconomic environment. There's absolutely no doubt about that. We can only be efficient and have this competitive advantage that Mr. Wintergerst also spoke about if we rethink our processes. Not just infuse a bit of AI here and there, rethink them again with the possibilities of generative AI. And then the 4th category is what we call bend the curve on innovation. Basically make sure we are faster and even more innovative in the way we come up with new products and with new services. And it's also something that obviously speaks to the competitive advantage of companies. So what is the real value that we see? And I think that's the most important question to ask. We need to rethink our approach to AI immediately from this question: what is the value that we can reap from the various use cases? And you see a ton of data here. I specifically love the use cases around software development. And we heard this from Bosch already with GitHub Copilot. We do see tremendous benefit from actually using generative AI, in our case, GitHub Copilot, for the creation of code, for the documentation of code. There's a Bitkom study that basically says we're lacking 149,000 IT specialists in Germany. A lot of it is in software development. The only way we can tackle this problem, that we don't have enough people to actually fuel our own ambition for economic growth, is with generative AI. So I think it's one of the most important use cases that we need to think about. Security is another one, actually using generative AI to help security specialists detect problems not in hours or months or days or even years, in seconds, in minutes. So it's really about introducing speed there as well. Generative AI is not only helping knowledge workers, and I've had this conversation over the last couple of weeks and months quite extensively. Yes, Agnes, we understand how it makes us more productive in the work we do in drafting an email, coming up with a presentation, having a first idea on a project plan. But what about production? What about the shop floor? And I've already said that the beauty of generative AI is obviously in the interaction between human and a computer, a human and a machine. So it's obviously really, really important that we tap into this possibility as well, specifically as Germany, with our eminence in manufacturing, in the heavy industries, as to say. Siemens, I think, is a really great example. It's a great example of a company, obviously headquartered here in Germany, that has taken the technology, in this case partnered with Microsoft, to come up with a set of products and services that are tailored to the industry they serve, to their customers. Siemens Industrial Copilot is basically a ChatGPT for engineers, and it helps in the entire value chain of manufacturing. Designing systems, interacting with systems, maintaining systems. It basically allows humans to interact with a machine, not to read out a difficult error code and then having to look up in a manual, what does that error code on that machine mean? Interacting with the machine and solving problems that way. And again, it's a digital ecosystem. The first industrial copilot was not only co-created with Microsoft, but with Siemens customer Schaeffler. So again, the digital ecosystems that we are building are equal to the value we derive out of generative AI, specifically here in Germany. There are other examples here as well, and I'll bring another German example, obviously, as I said, Mercedes. Mercedes does, I think, impressively a lot on generative AI. Also, for example, on the production side, bringing together production data, using generative AI to make more sense out of production data and actually accelerate the production process. The example I would like to show today, however, is a bit of a different one, and it plays to this notion of interacting with, in this case, not a computer, actually a car, which in essence is a computer too, in a very human way. So I'll just play a little video. You'll see in the beginning, you're like, okay, I get what this does. At the end, that's when you realize what is possible.
Hey, Mercedes.
How can I help?
What's the biggest national park in Washington?
Olympic National Park is the largest national park in Washington.
The Mercedes-Benz user experience of tomorrow will be hyper-personalized. With Hey Mercedes, your car adapts to your habits and anticipates your needs. We retain complete control and ensure data privacy while tapping into large-scale generative AI models. We proved that Mercedes-Benz operating system was able to pilot new features quickly. And now, thanks to the Azure OpenAI Services GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, we are scaling and adding powerful APIs.
Hey, Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Can I park here?
You can park here for up to 2 hours.
Azure AI Vision is a key multimodal component. Pulling data from an array of cameras and sensors, we anonymize the footage on board, can tell you about the world around you.
What is that building in front of me?
The building in front of you is the Mercedes-Benz Research and Development Center in Sunnyvale.
With Azure AI Vision and the multimodal approach, a dash cam can see something and generate a background for the passenger screen. The system is constantly learning to better meet the needs of our drivers and passengers. Hey Mercedes is an AI model that can seamlessly generate high-quality content across text, images, video, and audio, all at once.
Set the passenger screen to an image of the Olympic National Park in Washington.
1 moment, please.
The possibilities are super exciting. Mercedes-Benz is paving the way for a more connected and intelligent user experience.
The interesting thing here is that there are 2 elements here. Obviously, a different user experience, a different customer experience, if you look at it from Mercedes' point of view, but also a much faster production and development process for Mercedes itself, which is super critical. So we have talked about the Siemens example and how we have industrial copilot and ChatGPT for engineers. We have talked about the Mercedes example. We need to talk about something that's broader than that. And I've advocated for it for a while already, and I'm so happy to see that there's a really great example here in Germany as well. In order to reap the benefits of generative AI, we need to have the skills to do so. And we need to have a workforce that actually knows and feels comfortable on how they do so. So the example I would like to talk about is the IU. It's the biggest university of applied science in Germany with more than 130,000 students. And what IU has done is, I think, remarkable. They have started to create what they call the Copilot School because they collaborate with Microsoft on here. But in essence, it's 250 bachelor and master degrees, different fields of studies where students can learn whatever they want to learn for that specific field of study, but already with AI skills built into the DNA of the body of science and the body of their specific area that they're studying. And they're not only learning about AI and in an integrated way learning about AI, they're also using their own personalized learning assistant, Cynthia. Cynthia works with every single student, and it basically adapts to a student's preferences, a student's level of knowledge, helps to learn the material in a very interactive way through dialogue. And with this also helps to speed up study time, speed up this process of actually going through material and researching something. So I think it is really paving the future of education. And I believe education and skills and technology go hand to hand. There is no point in having the technology if we don't have a skilled workforce that actually can work well with the technology. I would love to talk about digital ecosystems, and I would love to talk about Germany specifically here. The example I'd like to share with you is Parloa. Parloa is a startup actually founded here in Berlin, operating here in Germany, in Europe, as well as in the US. And what Parloa does is basically building a platform that allows to create and manage agents that interact with consumers and customers in customer service. And they really have started to revolutionize the way we think about agents helping in customer service. Through a text interface, you can basically create your agent within minutes. You define what is the tone of that agent, what's the purpose of the agent, what are usual resolutions of customer problems, and here you go, you have an agent that you then can manage in a platform. I'll show you a quick excerpt of a demo. I'm just going to talk a little bit then about what makes this so remarkable.
Welcome to Kronos Jet. My name is Christy, your personal AI agent. How can I help you today?
Hi, yeah, I'm in Berlin and I'm interested in booking a flight. Can you help me out? I don't know yet where to fly though. It's my birthday and I want to do something spontaneous. Do you have any recommendations?
Happy birthday. That's great. And yes, I can help you with that. For a special treat, I recommend destinations like Paris for its romance, New York for its vibrant city life, or Santorini for a relaxing beach getaway. Which one sounds good to you?
Yeah, I work in New York sometimes, so for me that's more of a work destination. Let's go for Paris, because I'm also taking my girlfriend, so romantic sounds good.
Paris sounds like a wonderful choice, especially for a romantic getaway with your girlfriend. Could you please tell me on which day you'd like to depart?
Oh, oops, sorry, I missed that. My dog just distracted me. Could you summarize that again real quickly?
Sure thing. You chose Paris. What day would you like to depart?
I don't care if it's Saturday or Sunday next week, and I only want direct flights. Can you propose something?
Let me check on available flights for you. I found a direct flight for you. It departs from Berlin-Brandenburg Airport on Saturday, July 6th at 6:30 a.m. and arrives at Paris-Orly Airport at 8:25 a.m. The flight duration is 1 hour and 55 minutes, and the price is 315 euros for 2 passengers in economy class. Does this flight work for you?
So I realize some of you already saw what is special about this agent. It's not because agents generally work like this if they're created by the Parloa platform, but in this case, the company wanted to make sure there are agents who sound very real. So you hear background noise, you hear tapping of the keyboards, you hear an in between there. It's an easy way of creating an agent to the liking of that specific customer of Parloa. So I think it's really a great example of a startup in Berlin going really big on generative AI and reimagining business processes for customers here based on Microsoft technology. I think it's important that we talk about responsibility as well, because technological possibilities also mean responsibilities, and those two things go hand in hand. And there are key principles, and we've heard some principles already, and I think it's important that we reinforce them. The first principle that we really believe in from a Microsoft point of view is your data is your data. So your data is not being used to actually train models. Your data is your data, and the IP you get out of the AI use case is your IP. What's also really important, because it creates, I would say, legal and regulatory security, is the copyright commitment that we give as Microsoft. So basically supporting customers in case if there's an IP infringement claim, knowing that we will cover for it. It just gives a basis and security of knowing what you're dealing with. Principles around privacy and responsible AI at large. And I think many companies have talked about this earlier today already. It's important that they are built into the product development process already. It's not an afterthought like, oh my God, we have technology that's very powerful, what do we do with it? No, we already, when we build technology, when we build capabilities, when we build features, we already have our lens on it. What is the responsible thing to do here? Security. Security at Microsoft must be and is the #1 priority. We are #1 target, so it must be #1 priority. And we have created an initiative that doesn't only look at our technological capabilities to live up to that responsibility, but also looks at processes, at culture at Microsoft to make sure we strengthen our security posture every single day. Bonuses at Microsoft are tied to security, for example. And sustainability needs to be something that is also built in the way we drive our strategy. When we said we would be carbon neutral, it was a moonshot. Now maybe the moon has moved even a little bit further because of all the generative AI compute power that we need to bring to the market and to our own use and possibility, but the moon is still what we will reach. We're still very much committed to sustainability as a pillar of our doings around AI. We've invested, and we've said we would continue to invest in Germany. We say we will spend by 2025 3.2 billion to build data center capacity, AI compute capacity. I think the important thing here is it's not only about investing into data center capabilities and compute capabilities. It's important, again, and you will see I'm really passionate about it, in skills. We also said we will skill 1.2 million people together with many, many partners around AI, generative AI. We go to schools, we go and teach teachers. There's a lot to do here, and I'm very confident that we will not only teach 1.2 million people, but even more than that, and we have to. Because AI already has a lot of possibilities right now, but we can only tap into them if we know what we do with it. And with this, I would say, let's not travel back to the past. 1986, Star Trek 4, where there was this moment when people from the future came and said, what, you have to interact with a keyboard, with a computer, why can I not talk to it? We have arrived at that future already. It's important that we do not wait and theoretically debate what could be possible benefits in the future, but that we get started and scale right now and right here. Thank you very much.